Tutankhamun, a name that echoes through time, belonged to a pharaoh who ascended to the throne of Egypt at a tender age. Imagine a boy, barely a teenager, suddenly thrust into the role of king, his world transformed by destiny. This was Tutankhamun's reality, inheriting the weight of a kingdom on his young shoulders. He was likely born in the city of Akhenaten, a place imbued with the spirit of his father, the radical pharaoh. Akhenaten, growing up in the royal court, Tutankhamun would have been surrounded by luxury and extravagance, but also by the political intrigues that plagued any dynasty. Tutankhamun's path to power was paved with both privilege and uncertainty. His father, Akhenaten, had instigated a religious revolution, casting aside the traditional gods of Egypt in favor of the sun disk, Aten. This dramatic shift in religious practice caused upheaval and unrest throughout the kingdom. Upon Akhenaten's death, the throne passed not directly to Tutankhamun, but to a brief, shadowy figure known as Smenkhkare, whose relationship to the royal family remains a subject of debate among historians. The reign of Smenkhkare was fleeting, lasting only a few years before Tutankhamun, at the age of 8 or 9, took his place as the ruler of Egypt. The young pharaoh inherited a kingdom still reeling from his father's religious reforms, a kingdom yearning for stability and a return to the old ways. Tutankhamun, guided by his advisors, would play a pivotal role in ushering in this era of restoration. Tutankhamun's reign marked a stark departure from the religious and political landscape shaped by his father. Akhenaten's monotheistic worship of the Aten was swiftly abandoned, and the traditional polytheistic religion, with its pantheon of gods and goddesses, was reinstated as the state religion. Temples that had fallen into disrepair during Akhenaten's reign were restored, and the priesthood, whose power had been diminished, was once again granted its former influence. This return to traditional religious practices was not merely a symbolic gesture, it was a calculated move to mend the social and political fabric of Egypt, which had been frayed by Akhenaten's radical reforms. The people, deeply rooted in their ancient faith, welcomed the restoration of the old gods, finding comfort and reassurance in the familiar rituals and beliefs. Tutankhamun's name, originally Tutankhaten, meaning living image of Aten, was changed to Tutankhamun, meaning living image of Amun, reflecting this profound shift in religious allegiance. The royal court, which had been moved to the new city of Akhetaten by Akhenaten, was relocated back to the traditional capital of Memphis, a symbolic return to the heart of Egyptian power. This restoration of tradition extended beyond the realm of religion. Tutankhamun, under the guidance of his advisors, sought to rebuild the Egyptian economy and strengthen its military, both of which had suffered during his father's reign. He commissioned building projects, revitalized trade routes, and asserted Egyptian authority in its foreign territories. His reign, though short-lived, was a time of healing and renewal for Egypt. While Tutankhamun held the title of pharaoh, the true power behind the throne resided in the hands of his advisors, most notably Ai and Horemheb. Ai, a high-ranking official who had served under Akhenaten, was a shrewd and ambitious figure, likely Tutankhamun's great-uncle, and he held considerable influence over the young king. Horemheb, a skilled military leader, controlled the army and played a crucial role in maintaining order and stability within the kingdom. These advisors recognized the importance of restoring stability to Egypt after the tumultuous reign of Akhenaten. They guided Tutankhamun's decisions, steering the kingdom back towards traditional values and practices. Ai, with his deep understanding of courtly life and religious matters, likely played a key role in the restoration of the traditional Egyptian religion. Horemheb, with his military prowess, ensured the loyalty of the army and secured Egypt's borders. The influence of these powerful figures is evident in the numerous monuments and inscriptions from Tutankhamun's reign. Ai is often depicted alongside Tutankhamun, participating in religious ceremonies and advising the young king. Horemheb's growing power is reflected in his expanding tomb, which eventually rivaled that of a pharaoh in its grandeur. While the extent of their influence over Tutankhamun's decisions remains a subject of debate among historians, it is clear that these advisors played a pivotal role in shaping the policies and events of his reign. Their guidance helped to restore order and stability to Egypt, paving the way for the kingdom's resurgence under subsequent pharaohs.